Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Ali Rahman and today I'm going to show you the easiest method of drawing a hyper-realistic eye. It's a step-by-step process, so I would suggest that you don't skim through this whole video and waste your time. If you really want to do something, grab a paper, follow the instructions in this video, and I bet you will end up with an amazing eye drawing of yours. So without any further delay, let's get started.
So we are going to use these 4 types of pencils in this video. If you don't have these specific pencils, you can use a little darker or a light shade. For example, if you don't have this 5B pencil, you can use a 4B or 6B pencil. It will work the same. I already drew this simple outline to minimize the time duration of this tutorial. So let's start by drawing a simple light outline. Now I am going to fill this retina with this 7B pencil. Okay, let's darken the outline of the iris. Now I am going to add these small lines around the retina. So let's shade the iris with back and forth stroke technique. I'm using the same B pencil for this shading. Okay, let's blend these shadings with a dry brush. Now I am going to add this small texture inside the iris. You don't have to follow the same reference, just add some random textures and shapes as you like and you are good to go. Now I am adding these small lines around the iris. Make sure to keep them inside the iris. Now adding the same lines around the retina. So as you can see, the texture in this small portion is ready. Now follow the same steps for whole process. Looks cool, right? Now take your 5B pencil and add some darker shade around the iris. Okay, let's blend the shade with the same dry brush technique. Okay, now take a sharp razor and highlight these faded areas inside the iris. By the way, it's a Tombow Mono Zero razor and I will provide an Amazon link in the description. Or you can make a replica at home. Just click this I button here after this video. Okay, as we are done with the highlights, now take your 6H or whatever H grade you have and make a perfect shape of this rectangular highlight. Now add some shadow on the upper part of the iris. Let's clear this highlight and add some reflection of the eyelashes. Actually, drawing with a lighter pencil and then making it darker is the perfect method to avoid any unremovable mistakes. Let's darken the reflection with 7B pencil. Okay, the iris is almost ready. Let's add some base shade in this white portion of the eye using the same B pencil. Now blending with a dry brush. Now let's add some darker shade in the corner. Because we need this eye to pop out of the page and look more realistic and 3D. Blending the shade smoothly. Okay, now it's time to add some blood vessels in the white portion using the same B pencil, or you can just use a mechanical pencil with HP LEDs for more precision and accuracy. By the way, you can skip this step if you don't want these vessels in your drawing. Repeat the same process on the other side. Now let's shade the upper eyelid so that we can add some eyelashes on it. blending the shade. Now start with some small hairs because this portion of eyelashes always have small hairs. I am drawing a rough sketch of these hairs first. Now let's darken these hairs with a 5B pencil. You can add a light shade on the eyelashes for better results. Add some dark shade on the eyelid. And you can also add these small and light hairs with a mechanical pencil to make it more realistic. Let's repeat the same process for lower eyelid. Shading the lower eyelid with an HB pencil and blending the shade. Adding some highlights like this in the lower portion. And some white dots here. By the way, you can use a white pigment marker or whitener for better results. Blend the lower eyelid with a brush. You don't have to add some shade here. Now add some darker shade on the lower eyelid and blend it smoothly. Also add some highlights here on the upper eyelid. And for the lower eyelid, you can use a pigment marker or a whitener. But as I don't have one yet, so I'll use my mono eraser for these highlights. And here you go, it looks better I think. Now add these wrinkles here and blend them with a stump, or you can use your finger if you want. So moving on to the final step, which is adding some skin texture. Let's just add some small white dots with the mono eraser and it will look cool. Let's darken some of these hairs to get a perfect contrast. I have invested so much time in this video, and it will be a great help if you share this video with your friends and give it a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to support me on Patreon, visit my profile, and you will get some awesome rewards for your help. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to my channel because I have so much to share with you guys. And please visit my channel for more videos. Have a nice day.